Welcome back, and thank you for tuning into another video. I hope the content I have been posting has been educational and beneficial to you. If you like the videos, go ahead and click that like button and subscribe. Don't forget to share. Have you ever sit down and wondered what's the difference between debit and credit cards? Alright, let's take a look at the difference between the two. If you have a debit card, you already know how that works. To be able to use a debit card, you first need to have some sort of checking account. I will go into details later. Let's continue. When you have a debit card and you decide you want to use it, making a purchase with your debit card, the amount is immediately withdrawn from your checking account. Sometimes, depending on where you are using the card, it may take up 24 hours to 3 days or more for the transaction to show up on your account. With a debit card, you don't need to worry about receiving a monthly bill since your purchases are automatically taken out of your bank account. When it comes to debit card, you have the option to use a debit card to withdraw cash from an ATM machine. With debit cards, you have full access to your cash. You don't have to worry about passing a limit. Debit cards allow you to pay now and avoid later payments, since the money from a purchase you make with your debit card is taken directly out of your checking account. You don't have to worry about a bill coming your way at the end of the month. Just be careful to avoid overdraft fees. Debit cards are convenient. Widely accepted, debit cards are especially convenient if you need to withdraw cash from an ATM or want to get the cash back when you're making a purchase at a store. You don't have to worry about annual fees, but here and there, you might see service charges on your account, depending on which bank you are banking with. Debit cards may prevent you from making large purchases that you can't afford. The reason I say that is because if you don't have enough money in your account, the transaction will decline. If it does, that overdraft will hurt your feelings when you see it. But with debit cards, you don't have to worry about interest fees, since every transaction is taken directly out of your account right away. You don't have to accumulate a balance that you have to pay interest on later. That's a good thing. Let's take a look at the cons. Debit cards have limited fraud protection. According to the Federal Trade Commission, if your debit card is stolen and you notify your bank within 2 days, you could be responsible for up to $50 of any fraudulent charges. If you notify your bank after 2 business days, you might be responsible for up to $500 of the fraudulent charges. Notify your bank after 60 days means you could be liable for all of the fraudulent charges, because debit cards typically have less fraud protection than credit cards. It's best not to use your debit card for online purchases. When it comes to your spending limit, all that depends on your checking account balance. With a debit card, it's possible to use more than you have in your account if you don't monitor your account closely. You can also opt out of overdraft consent, but I wouldn't recommend that. But this means your debit card will be declined for purchases you can afford. Debit cards, they don't build your credit score, since debit cards are linked directly to your checking account. They don't affect your credit score at all. Now let's take a look at credit cards. Credit cards work differently because you don't need a checking or saving account. When making a purchase with a credit card, instead of immediately withdrawing funds from your checking account, you borrow money from your credit card company whenever you make a purchase, meaning you will pay the amount borrowed at a later date. Check out my other videos on credit cards if you want more information. Use your credit card to help build your credit history. Each time you purchase something with your credit card and then pay it off on time, your credit history will build up. Building good credit is going to be essential to applying for a mortgage loan, car loan, or any other type of loans. Under the Fair Credit Billing Act states, liability for unauthorized purchases on your credit card is limited to $50. If the card is reported lost or stolen before any transactions are made, you will not be responsible for any charges you did not authorize. If it turns out the credit card number is stolen but not the actual credit card, then you will not be responsible for any of the unauthorized charges. Also, credit cards, they give you the ability to pay off your balance over a period of time. It's a good practice to pay your credit card balance in full each billing period to avoid fees and interest. Now let's take a look at some of the cons. You pay interest only on the balance you carry over. This could lead you into a rabbit hole. So be careful. The danger of spending more than you can afford, they can hurt your credit score just as they can help build your credit score. It's easy to dig yourself into a hole using a credit card poorly. So be responsible.